just, Grandma's like, hey, we got some candies over there. You want some? Brent come out, and I'm like, yeah, that'd be cool. I'd love to have some. And I go over there, and at first I try the caramel, and caramel's good, humming. But then
the toffee gotcha.
The weak spot came out.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome, everyone.
You're listening or watching the Wow Pod. I'm Betsy.
And I'm Jared. And yes, Betsy is back with us today.
Yay.
So we can plan on having a real story and not just
chit-chat.
Some marble-headed moron up here. We got to have the intellectual person in the room. I'm trying to get centered on camera. I'm like way off the edge.
Yeah, we are speeding headlong into the Christmas holiday.
More than headlong. It's
ready
on us.
Or not.
It's there.
It's there.
It's there.
And then a new year, and then who knows what.
Are you ready for Christmas yet?
Ish. You?
Come on, it's only
you got
the
plenty
22nd.
of time. What are you talking about?
Come on, 24th. It'll happen. I'll get that.
I've always said that the smart people celebrate Christmas on the New Year because everything that's left over from the holidays goes 50% off.
That's
and
a good
they
point.
show up on the 26th, buy everything, save a bucket of money.
That's a good idea. I think I'm going to make that a new thing.
A new tradition.
And I want to throw down. All right. My sweet sister, Betsy, threw together an awesome Christmas party this year. I'm telling you, she's the hostess with the mostest.
It was hard to find things that you do because we did retirement home themed.
Yeah,
so it's hard to find things to do for a retirement home. So bingo was an obvious answer. But
yeah, we dressed old. Betsy threw it together. It was phenomenal. The kids had a blast.
I've already got an idea for next year because our family's getting so large that, follow me.
Okay.
We rent the gym at the gymnastics place. So you've got the trampolines.
Oh, the bouncy house place? Where we've had a couple birthday parties.
Yes.
That's
so you've got
idea.
the trampolines. You've got all of it. And everyone dresses as a gymnast.
Oh, man. I'm going to be smuggling grapes.
That's right. Dad breaks out his basketball shorts.
Do not look directly into the light, folks.
Sorry, Dad.
No, that's a good idea. The homemade gift caught me off guard. I wasn't ready. Now, last year I come through on the homemade gift. This year I did. I made one, painted a little Christmas tree, but next year, it's on.
It's on.
And remind me to show you, maybe I should show you next Christmas, but I've got a little something that's going to make the rounds. I've got to get with the brothers.
Should be great.
I got to get with your husband. I've got to get with, the brothers, and we got to figure out a schedule on how this is going to go.
Well, I can hardly wait.
But yes.
So tonight, we're not going to go traditional. Well,
we're going to
go
way
elsewhere.
Traditional.
We're going to go with Scary Christmas. Not that long ago, went to see a Christmas movie on or about the 8th of December, on or about the year 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And this Christmas movie was called Krampus.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea
it
was going to be terrifying.
Let's remember that there's a lot of Christmas movies that have action. We all know what I'm talking about.
Listen.
And that have scary.
From the horse's mouth.
What's the first scary Christmas movie?
Gosh. Gremlins was pretty scary.
Bam. There it is. What's up, King? But yeah, Gremlins is a Christmas movie. And then you move into Die Hard. Hans Gruber.
We've had this conversation several times. Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. But
tell me it's not. How is it not? How is it not? What are they celebrating on the night of Die Hard?
It happens on Christmas.
Happens on Christmas, at a Christmas party with a big Christmas tree. He comes into town to celebrate Christmas with his soon-to-be ex. That part I don't understand.
Well,
was he there to visit his kids?
Yes, I believe so.
But he didn't get to go see his kids because they got trapped in there.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're gonna go with a scary Christmas show.
All right.
So, from the annals of Google.
The annals.
Yes, deep in the annals of Google.
Deep in the Google anal.
I have dug up 7 Christmas traditions from around the world.
She's an anal minor.
Yeah, I have a minor in anal studies. I'm a Google proctologist.
Just whistle while you work.
So the first one comes to us from France. And I'm going to slaughter most of these names just because I don't speak the language.
And that's why she's reading them.
Pierre Fouettard is guess how I'm guessing.
Okay. I'm going to it's P E with a squiggly above it. R-E. So I think it's Pierre.
No, Pierre is P-I-E-R-E.
Is that the only way to spell Pierre?
Perhaps.
Okay. And then Fouettard.
Fouettard.
Why? You know who you should have asked.
I know. I should have.
She would have been
my kids speak French. They would have been like, this is, you just slaughtered that, Mom.
His name's Randall.
Yeah. And it translated, it is Old Man Whipper or Father Whipper. So, its origin, first told around 1252.
Okay.
The story goes that an innkeeper captures 3 boys who appear to be wealthy on their way to enroll in a religious boarding school. So these boys are traveling, as 1252, I would guess they did alone or together in small groups. Along with his wife, he kills the children in order to rob them of this assumed wealth. Just one gruesome version tells that they drug the children with medicinal herbs found in their garden area and then
hold on,
slit their throats.
What kind of garden you got going on there, homeboy?
Yeah, like, I don't know, hemlock or I don't know. But then they slit their throats and cut them into pieces and stew them in a barrel. This is a Christmas story.
We wish you a Merry Christmas.
So, in this version, St. Nicholas discovers the crime. St. Nicholas. Santa Claus was in many different traditions.
And says, screw the cookies, I want some stew.
And he discovers the crime and resurrects the children.
Uh-huh.
After this, the innkeeper, Pierre Fouettard, has to repent. And his repentance, or his penance, is to become St. Nicholas's partner. Now, his role in this twosome, this partnership, is assistant. And his job as assistant is to punish children who have been naughty.
So he's like the whipper?
So the way that he goes about this is he dresses in these dark robes. He's scraggly and unkempt with a long hair and a long beard, and he's armed with a whip, a large stick, or a bundle of switches from like willow trees. And as St. Nicholas makes his rounds, Pierre Fouettard is...
Say it again.
Pierre Fouettard is with him to take care of the naughty kids.
So he's...
Can you imagine being that terrified Christmas Eve? Like, please, just let St. Nick leave me a treat.
He's the Punisher.
He's the Punisher. That's his whole job.
So, like, if the kids are good, they get the present. And over here, if the kids are bad, they get a lump of coal. But over there, if they're bad,
they get the
he
switch.
goes at him with the switch.
Goes at him with the switch. So that's the first one.
I want to mention King says, Betsy, good to see you on the show.
Hi, King.
What a treat. And for the holidays. Yes, King.
Yeah.
Now, are you in, he's in Texas, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah. Yeah. How's the weather down there?
Is it cold? It's been cold here.
Yesterday was gorgeous. 42 degrees, Betsy.
Yeah.
I was cruising in a T-shirt all day. Today, not so much. Keyed my car and didn't even have my keys on me.
Yep. Pretty cold.
Yes.
So the next one is Kalakanzari. So this is Greek mythology.
Kalakanzari.
Not mythology, but Greek traditions. And in Greek traditions, Kalakanzari is this like ugly, nasty creature that comes to Earth every Christmas and wreaks havoc until January 6th.
And looks just like the Grinch except without the green.
Yeah.
Like has like the pointy beard.
Yeah, so they're often referred to as night critters. They're lanky, red-eyed beings with long tails or long nails and black tails. They have like gnome-like features. They're very mischievous, extremely agile. They would jump from rooftop to rooftop, sneak their way into homes through the chimneys or keyholes. That's scary. Trash everything in sight, steal food and children. They kidnap the children, especially those born on Christmas Day. That's why it was explained, and the tradition is that everything is covered very tightly. And
like the presents?
Like all of the food and everything is covered very tightly. It was a tradition to teach children to take care of their belongings.
Oh, it also says here, usually male and grotesquely well endowed. Things at tripod.
So they're dark skinned. Most have some kind of flaw. I don't get that. Like they limp or have a lisp.
Well, I imagine they limp if they're grotesquely. I mean, that thing gets in the way.
If they're well endowed.
You know how you hear step, step, step. Here, so step, drag, step, drag, step.
They have goat feet or monkey arms. They live on snakes, worms, and frogs, but they love sugar.
So after the cookies.
So, for 12 days, the Kalakanzari come out, and they are awful. And then on the morning of the 13th day, when the rooster crows and the sun shines its way into the sky, they head out. Again, like terrified. I don't want to be home for Christmas break.
So they'll like come and haunt your place for 12 days.
They come for 12 days every night, and they just wreak havoc and then kidnap children.
So they're like a poltergeist.
Yeah. It's a terrible story.
A well-endowed poltergeist.
A well-endowed poltergeist.
That's right.
The next one, Hans Trop. This is the Christmas scarecrow. I don't like scarecrows to begin with. But this one is the Christmas scarecrow. So.
Now, this is from Alsace-Lorraine, France.
Yes.
So where that is that's the little strip of forest right between France and Germany.
So these French regions of Alsace and Lorraine, the legend is well known in these regions. This is a very well known legend and tradition. So the story is that Hans Trop lived in the 1400s. He was rich, powerful, and merciless. He was feared by all of the people in Alsace. His thirst of power was so great that he turned to deals with the devil to enhance his power instead. He kissed the balloon knot.
Ooh, straight up.
Straight up.
Right on the goat's sphincter.
Hearing of this, the Pope himself excommunicated him, after which he was banished from Alsace and his wealth.
I want to ask you a question. So if you kneel down and kiss that rusty balloon knot on the old coat.
Uh-huh.
Is the Pope excommunicating you going to be like a heavy deal, or?
Next to that,
like you've already gone stash deep on it.
It's true. Stash deep. Nose in, all the way to the cheeks. Anyway, so after being banished, he's reduced to constructing this makeshift home in the mountains of Bavaria and Germany. And as the legend goes, he continued to just brood and stew and fester about how he had been banished and all of his wealth taken from him. And as do most people who get their things removed, he became a cannibal.
There's a lot of cannibalism surrounding Christmas.
There is. So he adorns in a straw disguise, much like a scarecrow, and he waits for lonely roads and a victim. So he's like Mothman prophecies.
So he's like a scarecrow that like hunts people?
Yes. So
that is like no. What's that show? The Scarecrow one.
Oh yeah.
Jeepers Creepers.
He's Jeepers Creepers. Oh. We do have Scary Christmas. We just take the Christmas. They just don't
celebrate that one at Christmas.
Yeah.
Well, it's a whole deal trying when you're filming a movie and there's snow on the ground.
Yeah. So apparently he shows up during the Christmas holiday and he wanders the roads and looks for victims that he kidnaps and eats. Straight up, no toys, doesn't have St. Nick with him. He just gobbles them up.
He just goes out to eat people. Just right for the... Now, I want to throw out a thought, Betsy.
Okay.
I think this would make a fun Christmas party to do like a Krampus, dress up as Scary Christmas.
Scary Christmas.
For the next family Christmas party.
I think it'd be awesome.
It'd be fun. So you could dress up as Santa, but, put a scary twinge on it. Maybe Mrs. Claus, maybe an evil elf, maybe Krampus.
Evil elf.
Maybe the Scarecrow guy. But then you get to tell these scary stories to all my nieces and nephews about the monster you are.
Listen, nothing says I love you and Merry Christmas like a nightmare.
Hey, I'll tell you what. We have a niece and nephew that are all in on hearing this scary stuff.
Oh, yes. And then we have a couple who were afraid of the Easter Bunny. And if you even mentioned that the Easter Bunny was going to their house, they'd freak out.
Our oldest niece was 22, and if you drove by a haunted house, would probably cry?
Yes.
Yeah. Let's go through some comments real quick. King just sent in a few. We'll read his. I am staying with the family in Texas. It's expected to get cold. I wonder how cold. How cold does it get down there?
They've had some really low temperatures.
Yeah, if you get down in the 30s when you're not used to it, and the humidity,
forget about it.
King says also the Grinch is based on a real creature, I think from the Philippines.
Yeah.
Oh, is that in our show tonight?
It's not.
Oh, well, we're going to have to dig that up next year, King. Send us the information you got. The doll scarecrow in France and the doll island in Mexico are my top scary places to be.
Doll Island so I didn't know there was a doll scarecrow in France. Makes sense. But
well, that's this Alsace-Lorraine guy. What's Doll Island in Mexico?
Doll Island in Mexico is terrifying. I personally
what is it?
Would not go. I just wouldn't do it.
I am unfamiliar with said magical place.
Oh, well, we should dive into Doll Island on an entire show because it is literally one of the scariest places if you're afraid of like inanimate dolls.
Really?
Yeah. So it was originally owned by Don Julian Santa Barrera.
Uh-huh.
There's dolls hanging from trees and buildings covered with cobwebs and insects.
Who did this?
So was
it like these sick brothers or like we'll make something that'll freak people out?
So it is said that these dolls just started showing up after a young girl drowned entangled among the lilies of one of the canals, and her body was found on the banks. Santana, the original owner,
Hold on,
claimed...
the dolls just showed up.
Yes. So, here's how I understand it. This little girl actually did dolls. She was entangled in these lilies. If you've ever been in a canal with lilies, they have very thick, ruddy stems and these great big fronds that actually float on the surface.
Okay.
So if you fall into a canal with lilies, they just wrap you up. So really? I can imagine a young child being wrapped up in those.
Oh, yeah.
It's a death trap. So she dies, and Santana claims to, the surrounding area and anyone who will ask that he heard the girl crying out, "I want my doll." And he claims to have found the first doll following that hanging from one of the trees. Now, he later dies in the same spot that this girl drowned.
So this could be like the little girl is haunting?
Now, the legend goes that people hear the little girl crying for her dolls, and so they bring her dolls. But it has taken over the island. They are everywhere.
Where did the brothers go? Did they run away screaming and now they're done?
The only guy who was there that owned it died in the same place as she. So this is like a picture of these dolls.
Those aren't dolls.
Doll Island is terrifying.
Those aren't dolls.
I mean, look at them. They're just everywhere.
No. Dolls are like what's in your daughter's room. Those are voodoo.
Yeah. So Doll Island has its own. It's like, scariest place. So
no,
you can still visit it.
I would love to go there, but those aren't dolls. You can't call it Doll Island. You can call it Stick a Needle in That Thing Island. Or
yeah.
So Jackson says, "I love that movie." Jackson, are you talking about Goonies or
Gremlins?
Are you talking about Gremlins? Not Goonies.
Goonies was good too. Not
Goonies,
a Christmas movie like Die Hard.
No, Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Or are you talking about Jeepers Creepers? I'm going to have to dig in more on that with Jackson. Find out what's his favorite.
The next one. It's called the Yule Cat.
The Yule Cat.
Yes. So I'm not even going to try to pronounce. Also known as, see that word? Jokalakataturin. I don't know.
Jolako Kyo. Would that be a Kyo? Because it has that little squiggly above it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Turin. Jolakyo Turin.
It is described as this huge vicious cat that lurks around the snowy countryside during Christmas time and eats people who have not received any new clothes to wear before Christmas Eve. That's what he does.
So you got to get some new clothes.
Yep.
Before Christmas Eve.
Yep.
Where's this at? Iceland.
And the threat of being eaten by the Yule Cat was said to have been used by farmers as an incentive for their workers to finish processing the autumn wool before Christmas.
Oh, so that would get them to make the materials to make the clothes.
Yep. The ones who took part in the work would be rewarded with new clothes, but those who did not would get nothing and thus be preyed upon by the Yule Cat.
By the jugger.
Yeah.
Jugger.
Yeah. So
what
no
was
new
that again? Jolokaturum.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Sure. Look at that.
So the Yule Cat, no new clothes. Maybe we have all taken like little pieces of this and incorporated it into our modern day commercialized Santa Claus. Because I give my kids new Christmas pajamas.
Added it in.
No new clothes, Yule Cat. The next one's scary. Mari Lod.
Lud?
It's Welsh.
Okay. Lewid?
Yes, from South Wales. So, this custom is first recorded in 1800, with subsequent accounts of it being produced into the earliest 20th century. And I saw videos of them still doing it this year. So
now I'm fairly freaked out. I mean, first of all, you've got to go get a horse skull.
Yes. So what they do is groups of men accompany this horse ghost. They take this horse skull and they drape these long white cloths on it, and they go around from house to house, and they ask for entry into the home.
Uh-huh.
Now, they continue pressuring. So some people just say, no, and close the door. But they keep pressuring these people until they let them in. And then they chase the kids around with this horse skull, scaring them to be good in the new year.
So it's just, like the old guys in the neighborhood are tired of the kids knocking the doorbell and running, so they just scare them to make them behave.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that doesn't traumatize them, make them even worse kids.
So as far as traditions go, at least nobody was eaten. There was no cannibalism. Nobody's beat. And you're not grabbed off of a lonely road. But, I wouldn't want to see this horsey ghost come in very small. Can you imagine, like, little tiny kids?
Do you imagine next Christmas party when I show up with the horse head?
Yes.
That I scare all the nieces and nephews with?
Yeah.
All right. Few more comments real quick. Okay, King says, now Jeepers Creepers is real.
Yes.
Actually, there's a crazy cold front hitting all over the USA in some places. Today was in the 20s, and it was overcast. It was just a chilly day, and I had to work part-time outside, so it got kind of rough. Okay, Doll Island is trippy. The caretaker was drowned by a little girl spirit before the death of the man would put dolls in order to keep the spirit happy. But many said it's a demon.
Yeah.
Even a mermaid.
Yeah. Doll Island is a creepy place.
So do people bring the dolls there like tribute to the scary thing?
That's the question. It's not easy to get to Doll Island. It's not just like, oh, hey, we're going to swim over to Doll Island. It's like an hour. You can correct me if I'm wrong, King, but it's like an hour row.
How far by catapult?
Launch dolls. Splat.
King also says, been seen in the waters, but many say it's a demon or demons that hunt the island and dress themselves as a little girl.
Yeah.
We have talked about the water babies. Maybe it's
a version of that.
Oh,
maybe there was nefarious acts going on, and he actually drowned a little girl, and so then she came back for revenge.
And then just accused the lilies of it?
Accused the lilies.
Hi, Shawnette.
Hi, Shawnette.
Good to see you.
Next one. Fra Perchta.
Fra Perchta.
Not as well known as some of the others, but she is the Christmas witch. She's a staple in the Alpine regions of southern Germany and Austria. Relatively under the radar here in North America. But according to
she looks plenty freaky.
Yeah, according to the legend, she's depicted with a beaked nose made of iron. She's dressed in rags, carrying a cane, resembles a decrepit old lady, but she carries a long knife hidden under her skirt.
Really?
She also bears a resemblance to the Scandinavian goddess Frigga, and they share an obsession as well. So Frigga, the Scandinavian goddess, was OCD, for lack of a better way to put it.
So she runs around, and if your room ain't clean, she...
Yeah. And this Christmas witch, Frau Perchta, she's awful judgy for a lady who dresses in rags. But what she does is she comes around on the 12th night, January 6th. That's an important day for some reason. And she punishes lazy ladies who haven't finished all of their chores.
So my address is... Anyway, no, I want to say that's quite... Now, so she comes from Bavaria in Austria.
Yeah.
Where BMW's made. There's a lot of folklore that comes out of that area.
And let me tell you how she punishes you.
Oh, do go on.
She sneaks into your bedroom when you're sleeping. Disembowels you. And replaces your guts with rocks and straw. She is like, do not F around and find out. With this one, you better get up and clean your damn house. Yeah. So, well, if you fail in your housekeeping, Frau Perchta shows up. And
No.
she doesn't just like get after you. Like,
You had that one that was invented by the wool farmer owners.
Yeah.
Who do you reckon invented this one?
You know, I could take a guess or two. Yes, I could take a guess or two. Ain't that some shit? You're told this is a little girl. Like, yeah, you better clean up your room or you'll be disemboweled. She's got a big long knife under her rags. First of all, you, my dear lady, are wearing rags. And you're talking to me about my housekeeping? Like,
Betsy, we're not here to split hairs.
if I lived in these places, I would surely be disemboweled after Christmas. Because it is a disaster.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Well, that's just having kids. It is, too.
Yes.
King says, talking about Doll Island, something happened because the caretaker became a drunk.
See? Yeah.
Lori says, totally doing my chores now. That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
We're going to all go home. Have nightmares about being disemboweled. The Yule cat eating you.
The husband, don't make the Frau come visit.
So.
And now.
The most notable.
For the king.
The king. The one that has become quite recognizable, and they still do parades, these really elaborate parades with like fire breathers and all kinds of things.
He's become kind of a cult.
Yeah, Krampus. He is a horned anthropomorphic figure in Central and Eastern Alpine folklore.
Kind of about the same area as the Frau.
Yeah. Frau's ugly older cousin.
Yeah, or maybe younger. You know.
It's hard to say.
Tomato, potato.
So he shows up during the Advent season. So, again, the 12 days.
So, okay. I wanted to rap a little bit about that.
Okay.
So, that 12 days keeps showing up.
It does.
And it kind of ends on January 6th. Now, in Judaism, they have 12 days also, right?
Okay.
They have the 12 days of Hanukkah.
Yes, yes.
And then at one time, it sounds like there was 12 days of Christmas. Humana.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, yes.
So I'm wondering if older traditions during the Yule may be the coldest time of the year. So 12 days, everyone had a celebration inside to keep everyone around. And they ate the last of the meat before it, was all gone, or the last of, maybe even the last of the produce, or not produce, but the last of the grain, or I wonder where if that 12 days circles around that somehow.
All of these traditions begin somewhere. This folklore, this storytelling.
Well, I can tell you one began with a husband that was
100%.
That was
a bastard.
Fed it up to here with the old lady. Not.
Yeah. So they have beginnings, and what we find is they also have, in a terrible way, purpose to teach a lesson or to keep people from going places or doing specific things. We are getting gentler as humans, so Frau Berchta doesn't show up and disembowel you.
Well, it seems like a lot of them are focused on keeping kids good.
Yes.
Irish ones, them little ginger bastards. And then the German ladies, I mean, sounds like the Germans, they're trying to keep the wives in line.
Yep.
And then you got the Vikings of Iceland. They're trying to keep the workers in lockstep, So,
So Krampus shows up in Alpine folklore, and he visits on the night of the 5th of December. So
he visits a whole 20 days.
Yes. And he also, like the whipping father, he partners with Saint Nicholas. Yeah. Krampus comes along with Saint Nicholas, and Saint Nicholas rewards well-behaved children with things like oranges and dried fruit and chocolate. And the bad ones get the punishment from Krampus.
Now, do you think they originated in the same mythology?
Well, it's theorized that Krampus stretches back to pre-Christian Alpine traditions. And there are celebrations involving Krampus dating back to the 6th or 7th century CE.
Well, was there that's like during the Yule or right before the Yule, and that's older than Christianity. Do you think that there was a gift giving during Christianity?
I don't know.
Like maybe that was the same way we use Elf on the Shelf now. Imagine in 200 years, people are going to be telling stories that these mean parents had this little elf doll
that would write on their faces and cut holes in their underwear.
Well, it might evolve that the elf would bite toes off while you slept or something. Yeah, I mean, seriously, it might evolve.
Because to the victor go the spoils. They can tell it any way they want.
Just to make it more interesting. There might be two people, a smart sister and a dumb brother, in the future doing a
evil Elf on the Shelf show.
Yeah.
Other versions of
I mean, it would be an interdimensional crystal cast from the wasteland. The earth has long since been eroded or blown up or something.
That's right.
But King Nixon, the floating head, will still be around. I have seen that in a documentary.
Yes, we have. So Krampus comes in various variations of looks, but the most common physical characteristics is he is hairy, usually brown or black. He has cloven hooves and the horns of a goat.
I was about to say that sounds a lot like a goat.
Yes.
There's a lot of in these evil stories, the goat shows up a lot.
He's got the rusty blue knot.
Rusty, and goats are bastards.
And they're stinky.
Oh. There ain't nothing on earth that compares to the old swank of a
male goat. So he has
Oh.
this long pointed tongue that doesn't fit in his mouth well in any of the pictures. And he has fangs. He carries chains, thought to symbolize the binding of the devil by the Christian church. He thrashes the chains around for dramatic effect to scare the children. He's often accompanied by bells of various sizes that he rings to ring in, the Yuletide. And he also carries a bundle of branches and swats at the children.
I'm wondering if some of these don't originate in the same place and then morph as they go over a hill or go to the next town.
So the most common...
Or it's all true.
Could all be true.
Mm-hmm.
So the most common is that he also has a bag with him, and naughty children are stuffed into this bag, sack, or basket in some cases, and he carts them off for drowning. So he drowns them, or he eats them, or in some cases he just transports them to hell.
If you had to choose, what would you choose, drowning or dinner?
Ooh, I guess that depends. Are we talking one whole gulp? Or are we talking like bite, chew?
Yeah. Or does he kill you like a wolf or a bear? Or does he put you in a stew? And does he put you in alive? Because if I had to choose between a hot drowning and a drowning, I'm opting for the drowning.
Ooh, see, I don't know.
The hot one would stink. That would suck bad.
So, Krampus shows up.
Krampus snot. It's
the feast of St. Nicholas. It's celebrated on the 6th of December. So, Krampus shows up the preceding evening on the 5th of December, very much like our Christmas Eve, Christmas Day.
Okay.
And he appears in the streets and visits homes and businesses, and he carries this staff and these switches and a bag, and his responsibility is to take care of the naughty children.
He was just a threat for kids back in the day. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, unless he was real.
That's scary, though.
And we do know that cannibalism showed up in the Balkans and in Bavaria in ancient times. It was right around Hungary was where Vlad the Impaler, old Dracula, where he ruled.
Scary stuff. I think I'm going to stick with my really benign, gentle Christmas traditions.
Do you have Elf on the Shelf?
I didn't this year.
No.
I have had Elf on the Shelf.
My kid's too old to. Elf on the Shelf showed up after he was an adult.
It's so much work. Is it? You wake up in a cold sweat because you forgot to move the elf, and then you don't even know what you're going to do, and then you have to clean up his mess. And
it's almost like you have to write out a script in like June.
Yes.
And get it all prepped and ready.
We've got enough to do during the holiday season without managing this goofy elf.
I imagine
as my grandbabies get a little older, I'll have to reincarnate Elf on the Shelf for them.
Dude, there's a business idea.
Yeah. Elf on the Shelf
Elf
kits.
on the Shelf person. Come over to your house. I wiggle the elf around. I've got a whole thing we do. And it'll be the same all around the neighborhood. So the kids talk at school. They're like,
sold out.
They all did the same thing.
You would sell out immediately. You would post it, sold out.
Like if you did it and you said $100 all of December, I come over.
I'd pay that every day of the week.
And then you just hit 20 houses every night. Do the same thing. You switch over to night shift.
Yeah.
Wiggle them around. You've got the whole thing set up. Make it happen. Except for the clothes cutting part, that
there's lots of other things that the elf
just
does.
Moving them around and setting up something and
Yep, not a bad gig.
Well, everyone,
Christmas.
that's the show. What do we got in the news? So we got Sam Brinton We talked about him a couple weeks ago, how he was stealing clothing or stealing suitcases and stuff. And apparently he's kind of a rash of clothing stealer. He has been fired. Yeah. I looked into it a little more. He had a terrible childhood, kind of a ultra Christian parents, and it sounds like they might have broke his head.
Well, I mean, if you make it to where he did, like, and then blow it.
Well, it sounds like he's been doing this for a while, but it's a sad story all the way around. I mean, I'll just say, you shouldn't let people who have mental issues be in charge of nuclear waste disposal.
Yeah, let's not. For funsies,
yes.
Let's just not.
Yes, there's that. Elon Musk is gonna get rid of Twitter now. I heard it floated that he's gonna give it to Don Jr.
It's hilarious. So he's just stepping down as the CEO, but he's not selling out, is he?
No, he's going to hand the CEO ship. He'll still be a big owner or whatever, but could you imagine? There'll be heads popping across this nation. Just
careful what you wish for, people. Careful what you wish for.
What else we got going on in the news? I don't know. Can't really think. Oh, the big one.
Okay.
I haven't read through them, but the CIA, there was another government paper release, a white paper release about the CIA. Haven't read through them. I'm going to. That may be our first show coming back.
We talking Hunter Biden?
No.
Okay, what are we talking?
JFK. Oswald had a connection to the CIA, apparently.
What?
Yes, and it is declassified, released material.
Shocking.
So, I mean, what? And now the time is long past that anything can be done. You had that E. Howard Hunt that talked about in the Rolling Stones. He was the head of kind of the covert operations wing of the covert opera, whatever, who admitted to killing JFK. But this is actual stuff. Now, here's what pisses me off. How many presidents between now and then
New.
I mean, and what is it like they take him into the smoky room, light the cigar, show him the other tape, and then the presidents walk the line? Because Bill Clinton always promised he was going to release UFO evidence, and he never did. But yeah, so there's a tie between Oswald and JFK, which is freaky stuff.
Which doesn't surprise me at all.
Not at all. Not at all. But I'm going to be digging into that. We'll have a show on that coming up after Christmas. We'll just go through that. I'll just read the paper and kind of go through that with you guys. We need lots of people's feedback on that day. And what else in the news? Just Betsy's digging through.
Yeah, I'm looking to see if there's
notes,
anything.
But I don't know. That one I think is kind of a ground shaker. Of course, we've got, China is not putting up with their overlords being jerks anymore.
Yeah. There's a bit of a rebellion.
Yeah, a bit of rebellion in China, a bit of rebellion, I think, in Shanghai, or not in Shanghai, in Singapore. Sounds like Peru just had a president arrested, an ex-president or something arrested. I think there's hey, why not? Let's drift into right before Christmas. We've got, we'll go for an hour tonight. We've got 10 minutes left. Let's go into an end of the world talk.
Uh-oh.
Just a real quick. I think things are kicking off. Economies are shaky all around the world. China's coming up into it. China's got 5 years that they can actually play for games, and then their demographics kick in and they're out of the market for another 40 years. India's in a strong state, but China and India got into another fight up on the Himalayas a week ago. And they do this a couple times every year. They get into, like, their militaries meet up in the Himalayas and get into, like, literally a fist fight. And so it's pretty crazy. I don't know. Hey, so World War III, you know, I don't know. My mind's been rolling lately with, like, there's a saying, generals fight the last war. And I'm wondering, with the Ukraine, have we seen the next war? You know, with the personal drones being used as incendiary delivery devices. King says, I just want a zombie apocalypse to happen. That's my dream apocalypse. Okay. Dawn of the Dead apocalypse. Bingo. 28 days later apocalypse. No.
Are those the fast zombies?
Those are the runners. Yeah.
The first time I watched it, I was like, no.
I've got no cardio for this.
Zombies cannot move that fast. We have been conditioned.
We need the struggling rigor mortis zombies. I want a zombie that if I do a brisk walk, I will outrun. But if I've got to run.
And those ones, like, made a stack and climbed over. They were smart.
Yes. Well, and you're talking, what was that one? World War Z. Okay. World War Z, folks. If you've seen the movie, it sucks. But the book is awesome.
Is it?
The book is written like a military after-action report. So it's pretty interesting. It talks about all the different places, like where it starts, you know, but it's engaging, but it's written like an after-action report. This is what happened. This is what we did. This, you know, and it goes from, you know, China to the U.S. to India to Africa to Israel to Canada to Mexico, you know, and it talks about all these different places and what they did and what they found out. So check out the book. The movie wasn't awful. Shaun of the Dead. Yes, where you could get a friend zombie to live in your shed. But 28 days later zombies, no. I'd rather, yeah.
Terrifying. So here's what I would do.
Okay.
Zombie apocalypse. What's your plan?
What's my plan?
Yeah.
Is it 28 days later zombie or
we don't know at
slow
this
zombie?
point.
Well, you got to lay it out.
We don't know at this point. Just they've said there are zombies approaching the city. What do you do? I mean, you have supplies and things, and what would be your plan? Would you hold up in place or build a fortress? Would you head for the country?
Man, at this time of year too.
Yeah,
it's not like you can really get to a redoubt. Okay, I mean, I've got a big ass van.
You do.
Go live in a big ass van. Got a little bit of food. I used to have guns, but I lost those in that boating accident down in the Rod and Gun Club. That's for the ETF guys watching. Good to see you guys. Yeah, big supporter. Anyways, what would I do? If it's the running zombies, I'm going to climb up on my roof. And I'm going to aim for the concrete, and I'm going to do a
belly flop.
No, that ain't going to secure a death. I might get my ladder, put it on the roof, climb up on it. I want a good 40 feet in the air, and then do a face plant.
Yeah.
Like I want to have my head cleaned up with a shovel. But if it's a struggling zombies, I don't know.
Take a nap.
Yeah.
Think about it. Mull it over.
Set up some security systems, you know.
What about nuclear war?
Nuclear war? That depends. How close to the plume? How close to the drop zone am I? What would you do?
Like, I want to know where it's going to land. I'm going to be like this.
But, like, what if it lands? Like, what if you can't make it to ground zero? I don't know. So nuclear war, if I'm not in the radiation zone, I don't know how much it concerns me.
Yeah, I mean, the effects of it would be domino.
Well, they roll up. Then they apparently, I mean, Hiroshima's doing pretty well.
A couple generations later, yeah.
It was doing pretty well like a decade later because the radiation blew off. It's not like it sticks around and, you know, unless it does. And Hiroshima just, you know, doesn't care.
Like, screw it. We're staying.
I mean, it's a beautiful city. Look at pictures of it right now.
Two-headed frogs.
Yeah.
They have fish that swim backwards and have an eye on their fin.
And cats living together. Man, I don't know. I mean, that's the question.
Because I think for most of us, common folk.
I can't imagine we would be the target out here.
No.
We're in rural Utah. Now, they might aim for Washington, D.C., and oh, wouldn't that be a tragedy? Anyways.
Except no one of any importance would be there.
But yeah, those are the big questions. What would you do? You know what? Here's a big one. Power outage.
A power outage
like
seems very benign at first.
One, it is a serious possibility. Right now in South Carolina, they've got, they're saying that it is, you've always got some radical groups that come out and say, like an LGBT group is saying, because they've been shooting transformers, which knocks them out in like 2 days without power.
That's the caveman way of taking over a power grid.
That's the quiet, easy way.
No.
Hold off 100 yards. All you got to do is shoot the transformer. You can get away because it doesn't.
You don't even have to be in this country.
It doesn't blow out
to take over a power grid.
Well, yeah.
They're all online.
That is true. That is true. As we found out with what was that one?
We've had two
Patriot one.
We've had two in Utah that have been hacked.
But anyways, these guys now, the LGBT group is saying that it's straight supremacists. I don't know what you call them, that are doing it to focus on them, which makes me think, well, but there is some thoughts that it might be white supremacists in the Carolinas that are doing it. And they have been doing this. They've hit, I think, 3 of them in the last month. And they'll shoot them because the oil leaks out of the transformer, then it overheats and blows. And transformers, the ground transformers are huge, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Like the size of VW, weigh 3,000 pounds, full of oil. And they've got to replace those, and it takes a couple days. But, I mean, taking the power out. 6 months without power.
Change everything.
You got to think about it. You've got no electricity.
Which means our gas pumps stop working.
Your gas pumps don't work. Now, there will be people who figure out a way to
pump
a mechanical pump up, but you've got at least a week before someone jumps on that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe people hook up generators. Maybe people hook up.
How many of us have cash? Just cash in hand. Because if the power grid goes down, we can't buy goods.
ATMs are.
We can't.
And does your bank have a
cash.
running ledger of what you have in the bank?
Absolutely not.
And some of us, we may not want them to.
Yeah.
You might want to go in there and be able to lie.
So buying supplies becomes exponentially harder, and impossible for some people.
Imagine what this is. We're fairly close to Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City is probably the safest city its size on Earth. Okay, in the United States, maybe not on Earth, but in the United States. It's the safest city in the United States, but it would probably boil over and become a pretty violent place really fast.
Yeah. And then they always head for the country.
Yeah.
And just the scourge would just move out to our areas.
They've got to look for food. They've got to look for stuff. Would they make it here? Would they try to head south? I don't know.
Failure in the power grid would be devastating.
And that is a real thing that's on the horizon.
100%.
Yeah.
So I'm going to finish with a story.
Okay.
Specifically for our brother.
Which brother?
Eric and Barbie.
Okay.
So, a UK man miraculously survived after sustaining a broken neck, fractured spine, smashed ribs, blood in his lungs, a head injury, a broken wrist, and a broken femur, all from tripping over his Egyptian Sphinx kitten. That's right.
Holy cow.
Yep.
What did he trip over it into, like a chasm? So there it was, walking my cat around the Grand Canyon, and
like the poor guy laid there for 14 hours in a pool of his own blood before he was found.
How did he trip?
Look, apparently he was walking near
Was he juggling knives, hatchets, chainsaws?
He was walking near the edge of his stairs when the cat came darting out, jumped up, and like started playing.
Hey, and those hairless cats do some playing. They are cute.
Yeah, and stuck its claws in his leg. He went over the banister, rolled down the stairs, broken up, pool of his own blood for 14 hours before he was found. All because of this cute little cat. Oh. Anyway.
Demon cat.
Yes.
Tell you what, they need to check to make sure that cat's not a not a goat.
It's hilarious.
Oh.
It's not hilarious. We're sorry for your trouble, but Barbie has often said that she believes her cat is trying to commit suicide because it does all these crazy things.
Oh, yeah. But her cat plays and plays and plays and wants to fight.
Yep.
Yeah, that is a very cute cat. Not everyone thinks so, but I adore.
I
adore Pistachio.
Pistachio.
Yep. Pistachio Scrotum Anderson. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I kind of want to do another apocalyptic show. That stuff's fun. But
I think we should lay out a plan. We should choose an event and then lay out the plan.
Ooh, do like a survival cast?
Yes.
All right. Do
like what would you do? What does this look like?
What would you do?
Mine would be short. I don't have supplies.
I would look to my husband and go, "What are we doing?"
Yeah, I would probably start a fire. Yeah, I make some cookies. Yeah. I don't know.
That's all right. Your husband's got a lot of the same mindset as me.
Yeah, he's prepping. He's been prepping for a long time.
Yeah. But anyways, everyone, thanks for joining us.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, have a wonderful Merry Christmas. I hope everyone has the best Christmas ever. I hope that everyone's safe, and I hope Texas doesn't get smacked like they did last year with the cold front that their grid wasn't prepared for. Their people weren't prepared for. I hope that everyone up here is safe. I would like to see everyone across the country be safe,
Yeah.
That we all have a Merry Christmas. Everyone wakes up. Kids are happy, cheerful. Krampus doesn't come. And
Fra Perchta.
Yeah.
My house is definitely going to be a mess.
Yeah. What was the one, the cat? Not the cat. The
Pierre Fatad.
No, the other one.
The Yule cat?
No, the one we couldn't pronounce either. The K one. Oh yeah, that was the Yule cat. K.
Yeah. The vicious Yule cat.
How do you say that again?
I don't know.
Anyways, yeah, but hopefully everyone has a great Merry Christmas, and we will be back. We'll be back next Thursday. What's next Thursday?
I don't know.
Let's look.
It's almost the new year next Thursday.
We'll look at a calendar real quick and just see what is going on. Yeah, we should be back next Thursday. All right, next Thursday. That'll be a New Year's show. Maybe we can tell stories about babies with top hats on or something.
Sounds great.
Yeah. Anyways, everyone.
Have a great week.
Yep, have a great week. And, Merry Christmas.